Chapter 2 of The Lord of the Rings is now finished. I just got through The Shadow of the Past, which is basically a massive exposition dump from Gandalf, and it's awesome. So basically, after 20 years on from Bilbo leaving town, Gandalf finally shows up and says, "Hey, Frodo, your ring is evil and Sauron is coming to destroy you and everyone you love." So that's fun. And so we get this long history of the ring and its powers and how it passed from the Dark Lord Sauron to King Isildur and from Gollum to Bilbo and now to Frodo. So you really learn a lot of this deep lore, why the ring's so powerful and why it's so creepy. I love the section with Gollum. And this is where I should say it doesn't feel like an exposition dump. Instead, it feels almost like a short story within Lord of the Rings. Gandalf is telling you a full experience of, like, he's immersing you in the places he's talking about. He's even coming up with dialogue between, like, Gollum and Deagle, for example, and so you really feel like you're getting this flashback rather than just being beaten over the head with all this exposition. So it works really well with the story, and it really sort of gets you pumped for the story to come, and ultimately it leaves Frodo with this big decision to make, which is, now that I'm a huge target, what do I do? And so he decides, without any prompting from Gandalf, to leave the Shire and take the ring into safety until they can figure out something more constructive to do with it, because the ring can't just be destroyed. There's very few options of what's left to do with it. Now, I do have some lore issues that come up here, and maybe some Tolkien nerds can help me out with it. One is, why the fuck does it take Gandalf so fucking long to come back? He's gone for nearly 20 years, and we get this explanation like, oh, he first got suspicious about the ring 80 years ago, and then later he's like, oh, but I really knew for sure about 20 years ago, but, you know, there was still one last test to do before I knew for sure, and the test was to put the ring in fire, and it's like, Gandalf, you could have done that any old time, and time is ticking here. The Dark Lord is getting more powerful. Why didn't you just come back and do it? And then the other thing is, he says that Sauron didn't know whether the ring was still around, and it's just like, but wouldn't Sauron definitely know if the ring was destroyed? Wouldn't it destroy him? And that's, you know. So there's some questions that I have for the lore that it doesn't really feel completely cohesive. But because of the atmosphere being so successful and because it feels like a fairy tale, I'm not too bothered by it. I love this chapter and I can't wait to get into the rest of it.